This one's from Lauren. So I'm in a bit of a jam. I'm highly dependent on caffeine. I have 4 Americanos a day. My sleep is off, and I feel a good bit more stressed. My plan is to reduce it by 1 coffee every 2 weeks until I get down to the healthy number of one a day. Is this the best call?
Good shout. That's a very sensible approach. Yeah, first things first, 4 isn't astronomically high.
Okay. Really? Well, what's high?
High is what is over 5 is high, and over
These are
7.
Americanos now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We it's funny when we do corporate work. You do like you have a room say 100 people or whatever. Like who has 5 coffees a day, and like no one's shocked.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's sort of Italian levels.
It's
Yeah.
like you'd love to get the stats on coffee and caffeine consumption in Ireland. Like 5-6 cups of tea would be regular enough. I like my tea. I like tea myself. As I got older, got to like it. But it's very high. So 4 isn't too scary. That's the good news. In terms of reducing it, yeah, cold turkey's hard to do. You've got headaches to deal with. You've got real sleep changes, mood changes, irritability, energy changes. Never great. So reducing it slowly is absolutely the way to go. Yeah. Handy way to do it from a motivational perspective is maybe put the money that you would have been paying for that coffee into a little jar
Nice.
and watch the jar stack, because like Americanos are expensive,
Yeah.
right? So you think about it, if you're going from like 4 to 1, you're probably saving tenner a day, maybe more.
Americanos are 380.
Okay, so it's 16 quid down to, if you're going into 1, that's 9. So 12 quid a day by 5 is 60 quid a week, 240 quid a month, 3 grand a year.
Class.
That's a holier. That's a good holier.
Quick math.
Oh yeah, no, I like maths.
Yeah.
So how do you reduce? That's how you do it. You drop down by 1 a day, gradually, or 1 a week, gradually reduce it over time. Enjoy the one that you have, savor it, get a really good one, and we are a caffeine addicted society. You look at pre-workout drinks. You look at, like, even I get the train up, half the train has a can of Monster, and the other half have tea and coffee. So like we're all having caffeine.
Right. Yeah.
It's we have a society that's very much plugged into caffeine.
To stave off those, you mentioned headaches and irritability. Will she still get that?
Very few. Not when you reduce it slowly. You might, and if you do, what do you do? Water, obviously. If it persists, you go into your GP. But by gradually reducing it, you're weaning yourself off. If you go cold turkey, you're absolutely getting them.
Yeah.
And they could last up to a week.
Right.
By the time it all leaves your system. Like, don't forget, even from a sleep perspective, it takes about 8 to 10 hours for that caffeine to leave your system. So, like, if you're going to bed at 10 o'clock and you're having caffeine after 2, there's still caffeine floating around your system. You know what I mean? So, like, you have to look at that too. But, gradually reduce it is fine. Decaf after 2 o'clock is important. It's a really good way of getting the enjoyment and the sociability of it without the caffeine intake. There's still a little bit of caffeine, but it's minimal enough.
And it's interesting because the only reason I hear people over consuming caffeine is because they're wrecked and they want to sort of give themselves a bump of energy. And so with that, should Lauren focus on her sleep habits, like during this period where she's reducing, and the temptation would be there to go back up?
Yeah, I think we're all exhausted. Truth be told, I think we are. I think societally we are. We've never lived like this before. We're permanently connected. We're permanently on. That idea of boredom, downtime, that's gone. So I think we're all absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger piece than just dropping the caffeine and focusing on the sleep. I think it's probably looking at a bit of mindfulness in terms of reducing screen time, reducing phone time, prioritizing a bit of exercise. It's a life management piece.
Right.
Which we must actually do an episode on. But there is something in that that you step back and look at if you do some of the life coaching courses, they'll look at the different boxes of your life and you can rate them and the amount of time you spend in them. But actually some of that's really important because you realize that to bring all of your cortisol levels down and your stress levels down, you need to fill up the boxes of people and life and time a bit more,
Interesting. I have 2 habits that I've just adopted recently. I want to get your thoughts on. So landlining. So at 10 o'clock,
Oh yeah,
I plug my phone into the wall, and it doesn't matter if I'm halfway through a text message, the phone gets switched off. And then from 10 o'clock onwards,
landlining.
yeah, so it's stuck into the charger. And then when I'm at home, when I'm working, if it's landlined, then it means that if I want to check a message, I have to go and stand. And
Oh, you can't take it out of the,
yeah.
charger. Okay. Oh, yeah.
And then an hour when I wake up, I don't look at my phone. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
I'm very
And
jealous.
big improvement for like getting to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, but I still, after 12 minutes or so, I kind of go, I want to check WhatsApp or
Jittery.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use Freedom as the app I use.
Yeah.
It just locks me out of whatever I decide to lock myself out of. And you get over that kind of jitteriness after a few minutes because you can't get into it. It's great. Just need to do more of it. It's like we're all permanently attached and permanently on, and those kind of habits are brilliant.